The two most powerful words in the world that we know are, what if? Every great thing that I've ever been a part of began with those two words. And today, thousands of organizations are saying, what if? With the power to act on those words like never before. What if every child had a tutor? What if every healthcare visit felt personal? What if every family had their own financial advisor? What if your business never had to sleep? What if? What if your company could solve problems before you even knew they existed? What if you could empower every employee with a limitless digital workforce? One that listens, learns, and acts all day, every day. Well, this isn't some far-fetched science fiction fantasy anymore. No, it's happening right now with AI from Salesforce. It's called Agentforce. Agentforce turns your vision into reality. Think about it, a future where every student, patient, client, citizen, and customer experiences the best service possible. And your people? Well, now they're free to focus on the work that matters most. And all you have to do is bring your dreams. Imagine that. What if? What if every company was an Agentforce company? What if?
Please welcome President, Industrial, Energy, and Consumer Industries, Salesforce, Connor Marsden.
All right. Good morning, Boston, and welcome to Agentforce World Tour. So excited to be here. I come from Washington, D.C., and Washington, D.C. is not necessarily known as a sports town. So it's great to be up here at Boston, the city of champions, the Red Sox, the Bruins, the Celtics. It's amazing the success you've had up here in Boston. And when I think about success and that championship spirit, we're all going to have to bring that winning energy into our companies, because it's amazing the transformational changes that are ahead of us with AI and this agentic technology. But we're going to get to that here in a second. But first, I want to say thank you. Thank you to our customers, our partners, our MVPs, the incredible trailblazers who are here today. You're truly the heart of Salesforce. You're the heart of each one of your companies, and we couldn't be more thankful that you're spending the morning with us today. When Salesforce was started, we were started as a values-driven organization, and it really helped to fuel our growth to where we are here today. Values such as trust, customer success, innovation, equality, and sustainability. And those values are going to be even more important as we kind of navigate these changes with autonomous AI. But one thing that our values have taught us and remind us is that business can be the greatest platform for change. And when Mark and Parker started Salesforce, we not only created a new subscription business model, we also created a new philanthropic model where we give 1% of our equity, 1% of our time, and 1% of our product to nonprofits across the world. In addition, 19,000 companies have actually pledged 111 and bringing that into their organization. So I encourage you, go back and see if you can all join us in the 111 movement. Because what we've learned is that by doing well, we can also do good. And this year, we're on track to hit $41.3 billion in revenue, 34% margin. And really, that's a testament to each one of you in this room that are working tirelessly on behalf of your companies to create incredible customer experiences. Because one thing we've learned in technology is that innovation moves fast. And for 25 years, Salesforce has been on the leading edge of the biggest transformational movements in technology. It all started with cloud, then went to mobile and social and predictive and data. And data was really important with Data Cloud, where we were able to fix all those trapped islands of data to create a unified profile and a true customer 360. And that really prepared us for this next transformational moment that's going to be bigger than the internet, the first innovation that happened back in 1995. We're building on that data foundation. We're going to be able to create phenomenal, limitless experiences on behalf of our customers. And this is really important because ultimately, customers expect more now than ever. They expect personal and human experiences. So when I call up if I call up to return a pair of shoes, I want them to understand the totality of all of my shopping history. If I want to call my insurance company to ask questions about a policy, I want to talk to an immediate expert that can answer all the granular details about that policy. And I don't want to wait on hold. Who here likes to wait on hold when they call into a contact center? Sorry, an agent will be with you in 15 minutes. Nobody ever said that. And if I have a problem, I want my service providers to proactively reach out to me to schedule a service appointment, so small problems don't become big problems. And in reality, our customers, our companies, we can't keep up today. We are struggling with fixed installed productivity. And this is because we're being forced to do a lot of manual tasks, where we're having to go across and swivel chair across multiple applications to look up an answer in one system, enter it into another system, send an email to a colleague about a system I don't have access to so that I can get an answer. Sounds pretty familiar. It's happening to all of our organizations today because of the disconnected data and applications that are all too common inside of our companies. And this is leading to tremendous employee burnout, where we're just stressed and trying to get our work done. And so we all asked ourselves a question from a Salesforce standpoint: what if we could solve this problem? What if we could create a workforce that had no limits? What if we had a workforce that could work 24/7 on behalf of us? What if we had a workforce that could answer any question, whether small or complex? What if we could build a workforce that could truly allow us to have global scale and solve those tasks so that employees could focus on high impactful work? And that's why we created Agentforce. And so let's talk. We've talked a lot about Agentforce, autonomous AI that's working 24/7 with our customers, but also AI that's sitting alongside humans to answer questions to complex tasks and making them able to focus on the work that's going to matter the most. And we spent a lot of time talking about sales and service scenarios. So like sales coaching, before you go on, you have a big pitch, you want to pitch to AI and get real-time feedback on that pitch. Or a BDR agent that's qualifying all your leads and sending those highly qualified opportunities to the humans so they could work and engage with your customers. Or from a service standpoint, working to do case management to solve warranty and repair claims autonomously with your customers. Really powerful scenarios that we've all experienced today. Now, about 2 weeks ago, we made an announcement in Chicago at our Connections event, and we're now bringing Agentforce to Marketing Cloud. Now, I've got a question. How many marketers do we have in the room? Raise your hand if you're a marketer in the room. All right, this section is for you, and so I want you all to get on the edge of your seats. Marketing and Agentforce is going to lead to a profound change. Now, I've led a marketing team before, and as marketers, we've been really good at sending one-way conversations, one-way communications to our customers. We send emails that say, do not reply. How many people have ever received a do not reply email here in the room? Okay, is that a very good customer experience? Or an SMS message that the last sentence says, please stop if you don't want to have these conversations. With Marketing Cloud, we can now turn every marketing message into a two-way conversation. And so instead of an email saying, do not reply, imagine if an email said, please reply. And the reason we didn't do this before is because as a marketer, who the hell was going to respond to that email if you got 5,000 email responses? There was no one to respond. But Agentforce is limitless, has incredible scale, and it can answer all those questions. And so think about how powerful that is for a marketer today. Think about a scenario where it's no longer about sending out and how many impressions that I can get with my marketing messages, but you've changed your entire mindset to how many conversations can I create. And with those conversations, and as a marketer, we are all faced with that challenge of what are the results, how do we measure our effectiveness and whatnot. And now you can walk into your CEO's office and say, I sent out 2 million emails, and I got 200,000 conversations with our customers. And not only that, here's what they're saying about our brand. Here's what they're saying about our product. Here's what questions they have. Here's where they want us to dig in. That's a really powerful concept. And we can do that across email. We can do that across SMS. We can do that in WhatsApp. We can do that from a social standpoint. This is going to profoundly change how we engage with our customers. And as marketers, we're finally going to be able to create those conversations that we want to have. But none of this is possible without having your data layer in place. And with Data Cloud and our zero-copy alliance with Google and Databricks and Snowflake to get real-time access to information, with the power of RAG, retrieval augmented generation, built in so you can get the insights that you want. Having Data Cloud today is truly a no-regrets decision. If you're using Salesforce, get Data Cloud deployed today because it's going to make your organization that much more integrated and solve that disconnected data across your application. Because Agentforce ultimately is powering a new digital labor revolution, and every company needs to become an Agentforce company. And there's really no better example globally right now of what it means to be an Agentforce company than Salesforce. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So first, you can actually see this in action at help.salesforce.com. I encourage you all to go there today. And when we initially launched Agentforce at Salesforce, we started seeing phenomenal results. And to date, we've seen 850,000 conversations just on our support site. And let me give you a few stats that we've seen. So first, for customers that are using our agent, 85% of their inquiries are actually solved with the agent autonomously. And what does that mean? Only 15% are actually getting transferred up to a human. That has saved us $50 million in 6 months. Think about the cost savings that you could bring back to your organization today by deploying an agent from a service perspective. And we've been able to take those support associates and we've been able to move them to higher impact areas inside of Salesforce's SEs or customer success managers, so they continue making a phenomenal impact here at Salesforce, and that's going to continue to fuel our growth. But here's another interesting thing we learned. When people engage with agents, they ask different types of questions. They ask questions in the agent on the support site like, who is our account team? They ask questions like, hey, can I get a Data Cloud demo? They ask questions like, what's Data Cloud pricing? And those aren't support questions, those are buying questions. And now we can take that inquiry and we can hand it over to our BDR agent and we can further qualify that opportunity. And we've created 30,000 highly qualified opportunities to our sales reps. And so we're connecting service into sales to fuel our revenue growth. And each one of you can bring that back to your companies today. And Agentforce also unlocks digital labor across numerous categories of scenarios. So at Adecco Group, we're taking resumes and job applicants and matching them into jobs. At AAA, we're proactively scheduling equipment, or we're proactively scheduling field service visits to help change a tire or to get your keys unlocked from your car, which I've done on more than one occasion. Or at Equinox, where we actually are offering a full concierge experience on behalf of their gyms. Now, there's a great Boston company, one of my favorite. Hopefully you guys know that Shark Ninja is located here in the Boston area. Phenomenal company. And we're using Agentforce to help them with a shopper agent online to help navigate the 143 categories that they participate in. We're helping them from a customer service standpoint to provide consistency of global experience across all the markets that they work with. And we're helping them with some fun tips and hints for their customers, such as with their Ninja Slushie, how you can turn your slushie into the best frosé making machine for your afternoon picnic. Check it out. We actually just did this in an event. It's phenomenal. But also, iconic brands like Goodyear are using Agentforce today, where they're engaging with their dealers and they're looking at tire history and tire information, and they're helping match what's the right tire for the right vehicle on behalf of their dealers, and passing the information to the consumer so they can find the right tire to meet their needs. But with Agentforce, it's moving really fast, and we have to drive fast innovation with Agentforce because the market's changing so quickly. We announced Agentforce in September at Dreamforce. We went live at the end of October. And we had our second release just shortly there in December, followed by a subsequent release in March. And we're so excited that we just recently announced Agentforce 3.0. The first is Command Center. Command Center, where using AI, you can actually manage, measure, optimize all your agents and give you the control and ensure you're getting the consistency of response. With the Model Context Protocol, MCP, this is really important because now you can actually, without custom integrations, you can authenticate agents to other agents inside your organization with no custom code. We have 100 pre-built industry actions, we'll talk about here in a second, and pricing flexibility that we've launched inside of Agentforce. We're really excited about our third release of Agentforce. And so, for the rest of the presentation, we're going to break our presentation into 3 chapters. We're going to talk about Agentforce, we're going to talk about Data Cloud, and we're going to talk about the Customer 360. And so to walk us through Data Cloud, I couldn't be more excited to bring onto the stage Kaylin Voss. So Kaylin, come on up.
Thank you, Connor. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I am so excited to be here in Boston with all of you today, but I do have a secret. We have to keep it just in this room and really quiet. Are you all good with that? Can you keep a secret? Okay. I think I have the best job at the company. And why is that? Because I get to lead our global Agentforce and Data Cloud specialists around the world. But what does that mean? I get to connect with customers in every industry, in every market, and hear how they are driving agentic transformation. But importantly, what's working, what's not, and why. And Agentforce just launched just, 6 months plus ago? And in that time, we've captured over 8,000 different customers and have a lot of different pattern recognition, so we can quickly deliver customer success. And that's what I get to walk you through now, here on Agentforce. And one of the first patterns is this. A large language model alone is not enough to fully maximize the value of AI for the enterprise. And why is that? Why is that? It's very similar to the revolution we went through 50 plus years ago with the CPU, a central processing unit. It was incredible innovation, but it still needed a motherboard, storage, memory, everything to come together for a valuable experience for the end user. And when we look at a large language model for the enterprise, the first piece that has been missing to maximize value is this data layer that you heard Connor talk about. For your prompts in your business to be grounded in real time in your organization's data, both the structured data, but the unstructured contextual data as well. And also all of the metadata, the data about the data, and then your semantics, so that your company can have a common vernacular, a common language to really put all of this powerful intelligence and knowledge on your data into your business. But it is more than just surfacing up this relevant data grounded on your business, and this is where, how do you bring it into relevant interfaces? And this is where the application layer comes in. This is now surfacing those prompts that are grounded in your data into the applications and the processes and the workflows that your employees are using every single day already. But we also know it's not just enough to have this LLM grounded on your organizational data and then surfaced in relevant insights. The power, the big unlock comes once you then turn this into autonomous action. And this is where the agent layer comes in right here on top of it. So that now that your agents are grounded, they're embedded into your applications and processes, now they're able to take action on top of this platform. But we all know it is absolutely vital, imperative, that in this process of extracting and maximizing the value of AI for the enterprise, it must be built with trust, with guardrails, with compliance, with security, with permission control, thought through every single step of that process. Because we also know once trust is broken, enterprises cannot go further faster with AI. They cannot deliver scalable, sustainable AI without trust. And you heard Connor when he reflected on our values. This has been #1 for Salesforce for 25 years. It is deeply embedded into every single part of our platform. But we also know the importance of this remaining an open platform for our customers to bring in their own LLMs, their own systems and APIs, their own data around anywhere in the world. Now, this is Agentforce. This is our digital labor platform. We have done all of the work of pulling together this platform so that our customers don't have to quickly capture the value of AI for the enterprise. And then, one of the patterns we see in that is when our customers use Agentforce for their platform, they are realizing 16 times faster time to value out of those agents and 75% increased accuracy and relevant responses compared to trying to stitch all of that together on their own. But we also know how important it is that Agentforce is deeply integrated into your business, which is why here on the left, you can see all of our zero-copy data partners. Our customers have put their time and their capital investments into these data lakehouses. We just want to connect and help activate and extract more value from our customers from some of that trapped data, but you don't have to move it. That is the power of these zero-copy partnerships. And with our AI partnerships, allowing our customers to have the selection of which LLM they prefer. And then we recently launched a partnership with Google so that Agentforce can be deeply integrated with Gemini, with Vertex, with Google Cloud, straight into Agentforce. But here in the bottom right, you'll see this is new, this is exciting. This is the agent exchange. We are creating an agent economy, allowing our partners to build on top of this platform for the processes, the templates, the actions, so that you can continue to capture that time to value we talked about out of your enterprise AI. And you also heard Connor talk about our recent announcement, which was just this week, of the open platform interoperability with MCP, with 20 partners now and quickly growing. But what does this mean for you? This means that when you build your agents in Agentforce, they have trusted authentication with other agents without you having to do custom integrations, and they are able to take action. And that is powerful. And speaking of taking action, we know that these actions are not all just going to happen within the Salesforce environment. Sure, can you use Agentforce to update a contact? Yes. To schedule an appointment? Yes. To update inventory? Of course. But outside of Salesforce, using Agentforce to say subscribe or set up a subscription in Snowflake, or to process a refund in SAP, or to onboard an employee in Workday. So both inside of Salesforce and outside of Salesforce. So now we have talked about the platform. We've talked about the ecosystem that we have built for our customers. But now let's talk about the agents themselves. What do you think? Okay. So it all starts with some form of trigger. This can be a change in data, it can be anomaly detection, or this can be an input from one of your employees or customers, some trigger coming into Agentforce. And then this is when it hits our Atlas reasoning engine. This is the brain behind Agentforce. This is allowing it to do all of that in real-time contextual grounding from that trigger to pull in the right data to take action on this trigger. Now, this action might be just a simple shot response, or it could be a multi-step requiring orchestration across systems and processes to deliver on an end-to-end process across your business as the outcome. Now, speaking of outcomes, should we see this in action for some of our customers? It is powerful to see this all come to life. And when we look at a powerful customer, there is Prudential. They are a global Fortune 500 company I'm sure we all know and recognize, managing $1.5 trillion in assets and helping millions around the world achieve financial success. Also a highly regulated industry. Why don't we roll the film and learn a little bit more?
We have over 50 million customers in over 50 countries. And so to serve their needs, Prudential has to be able to scale.
Our demographics are wide, so we want to ensure that we're delivering highly efficient, highly accurate interactions with our customers. We are a 150-year-old company, and the customer is at the heart of our brand.
Our vision really is to expand access to investments, insurance, and retirement security. So how do we get to the people who need us the most? That's a big part of where Salesforce helps us.
At Prudential, we call our salespeople wholesalers, and they're managing relationships of about a few thousand financial advisors. So how many relationships can you really effectively manage when you're talking about that type of volume?
Where Salesforce comes in is it really organizes that data so we get a 360 view of the customer.
Being on the financial services cloud enables not only the data accessibility, but the ability to plug and play.
Because with Agentforce built directly inside of the Salesforce platform, we can help automate processes so that our wholesalers can focus more of their time on the moments that matter, and that's what we're really excited about in the future. So now, fast forward to after a meeting is done.
We had a really good conversation about FlexCard.
With mobile activity capture, the tasks, the details, the clarity is all created directly inside of the Salesforce platform.
We had 4 clients, but the main one of interest was Tom Jones.
So now we're speeding up that part of the process where our response gets back to the financial advisor, and we can save about half a day a week of a wholesaler's time. Agentforce can help supercharge our wholesalers to take their sales to the next level.
With Salesforce, we have this deeply unified platform. We're able to show up and scale in the right way to help our customers with their lives work.
And Salesforce is helping Prudential to be the best in class at customer experience.
Awesome video, isn't it? See what they are achieving. So let me ground you just a little bit more on this annuity business and this process with Prudential, okay? Just to put it in perspective. You can see up here the wholesalers. Prudential has around 200 wholesalers. And just to ground you on the scale here, they are aligned to 300,000 financial advisors that they are supporting. So think about that. It's a 1 to 1,500 ratio. That's a lot of scale. And then those financial advisors are supporting 50 million customers. So you can see why Prudential would turn to Agentforce to unlock efficiency and improve just this whole process to maximize it. So do you want to see what that looks like? Should we jump in? Demos are always the best part, right? Okay, so now I'm going to step into the role of a wholesaler. I am a wholesaler at Prudential, and I start my Monday. We all know what it's like on a Monday morning. If you don't have Agentforce, crowded inbox, horrible calendar, stress, okay? Now here, I start my day in Slack. You can see Agentforce is guiding me where to spend my time as this wholesaler. These are the top advisors that I should engage this week to maximize my time, but also look beneath this. These are the 3 products that I need to learn. How do you make sure that these wholesalers know the latest and greatest that is happening across the business in real time? And then right underneath here, you'll see the 2 sales coach to help you pitch. Now, I will tell you, my team uses these sales coaches. I use these digital sales coaches. They are hard and they are good. And they are a great way for you to, at scale, up-level your team of what is the newest offerings across your enterprise. So now I have these sales coaches here. But as a wholesaler, I'm going to be picky here. This isn't giving me just enough of what I need to go interact with that financial advisor. I wish I had a pre-meeting brief with the latest products included, but also what's happening in the market. I need to know what is happening in real time. So you know what? I am going to now step out of my role as a wholesaler and show you the power of Agentforce, which is this. Yes, you've got these pre-built agents and templates and actions, but if you want another skill or another action for this agent, let's create it, right? So now, these incredible demo team, can we give a round of applause first for this incredible demo team? This is Jonathan and Maximo. They're gonna help me. They've already been guiding us through some of this. But now I am gonna step over here with Jonathan, who is our Salesforce admin, to show you how easy it is to build these agents and to add new topics. Right, Jonathan? Okay, so here you can see, right now you are inside an agent builder. On the left, you can see the name of the agent, the description, the role of this agent, just like you would see for an employee at your company. This is your digital labor. But then if you scroll down here, you'll see in the channels, where can you deploy this agent? in Slack or in voice, WhatsApp. And then if you scroll down further, you can see the topics. Think of topics as the jobs to be done that this agent can complete for your employees. Here you can see the post-meeting wrap-up, product training recommendation, but we know that we want a pre-meeting brief now added to this agent. So what we're gonna do is just simply click New topic. Now here is what is incredible. Jonathan, our Salesforce admin, can simply just use natural language to say, hey, Agentforce, I need a personalized, data-driven agenda with my CRM data, recent interactions, but also relevant market updates. That's an important thing to call out. Why is that? Because it's going to pull in, yes, your internal data on your customer interactions, but also relevant external market insights to help maximize that interaction. Now, let's click Next here, and you can see AI auto-populates what it would recommend for this agent to add this new topic. You can see the scope and the instructions. Now here in the instructions, you can see I've specifically called out bringing in those external market insights as well. But if we scroll down to the bottom, if a user asks about compliance, regulatory guidelines, or legal matters, require them to consult a qualified professional. In this instruction area is where not only you say what you want the agent to do, but also what you don't want the agent to do. When you do want it to involve a human in the loop, these are where you can be specific with the agent. But also, if you want to be very tailored on the tone of voice to maintain brand consistency, all of that's gonna happen here right in instructions. Now, Jonathan is gonna hit Next here, and now you're gonna also see AI being used to create AI, recommending some of these actions to complete this topic. But what's powerful here is that all of the pre-built actions from Sales Cloud, from Financial Services Cloud, any of the flows you've already built in other orgs or API connections you might be managing, maybe you're using MuleSoft, can natively be brought in right here. Okay? Now we click Finish. Here, you'll see this new topic is added. And what's powerful is you can see Needs Review. We can also use AI Optimizer to look at the agents you've built to help you improve for these proper agent builds. Now, I can save here this new action I've added to the topic. And Jonathan, what do you think? Should we put it to the test? Let's make sure it works before we roll it out to the wholesalers, right? So let's ask it to create a meeting agenda today for who we'll be meeting with. Now, while it's processing that request, you can see here in the center, if we scroll to the top, this is the Atlas reasoning engine. This is the brain we talked about that's doing all of that real-time contextual grounding, but we have provided the transparency for our customers here to see step by step how it is selecting a topic. You can see, okay, create meeting agenda, select the next action, product information, customer info. So should something be off as you're building this agent, it is quickly easy to troubleshoot, or you can see here recommended suggested improvements on how to make it deliver value faster for you across your enterprise. All right, Jonathan, I think you've built an incredible new topic into this action for the agent. Thank you. Why don't we see it in action now for me back as a wholesaler? How does that sound? Okay. So now I'm back to Monday morning. I was picky. I added this new topic here. Now I can create my own meeting agenda. I'm about to go in, and boom, here it is. Here's an important point I want to call out. We are using this ourselves at Salesforce. And yes, does Agentforce help deliver efficiency in processes? Absolutely. We have found a 36% improved sales cycle time. But the key thing to note isn't just the efficiency, it's the growth. We've captured 11% improvement in our growth rate. That's growth AI. Efficiency AI is becoming table stakes. But when you can improve every interaction and help you win more and be more informed, that's powerful. So now, when I meet with this financial advisor, I know the products to use, I'm trained on them, I know it's a highly volatile market because we pulled in those external market insights, so I'm recommending a more stable annuity that is the perfect recommendation in that moment. Okay, I finished an incredible meeting. We're delivering growth for the company, but I only have 10 minutes until my next interaction, so I better move fast. Voice is the killer modality here. So I'm gonna just talk to Agentforce. Hey, Agentforce, I just had a meeting with Jenny. She's got 2 customers who are close to closure. One SMB client, Emily Lawson, who's interested in annuities and strategic investing. She's gonna be out on Friday because she's taking her daughter to a Boston Red Sox game. Thank you. Now, this is what's happening here. Agentforce is processing all of this unstructured raw data, updating the record, attaching this call summary here, but also just the click of a button now. Okay, you know what? Let's send a $100 Boston gift card to her, to Emily, because she's taking her daughter out for her birthday. That's incredible. Thank you, Jonathan. Now, what did we just see there? You saw Agentforce capture all of that just through voice like this. And while that delivered a great frictionless experience, and now us sending that gift card, but what it also did was this. It captured all of those insights in real time. When we connect with customers, we often see, right? Everyone will shake their heads and nod at this. It might never get inputted, or it takes weeks and it's stale data. And we all know that good AI needs good data. This is capturing all of that in real time. And one last thing, while I bring this demo to a closure, is this. What I demoed was a microtransaction for one employee on how it improved their process. But think about that in the macro. Think about that in the macro. Now, every single insight, trend, behavior, that intelligence is captured in your company. The long-term memory is unlocked to improve any interaction there on out, really improving that organizational intelligence. And that is how any business can scale their brand with sustainability, trust, and just delightful customer experiences on Salesforce and Agentforce. Back to you, Connor.
Fantastic. How about Kaylin Voss? That was great. All right. So with Agentforce, we've got a lot of feedback from our regulated customers. They want to participate with Agentforce today. So we're so excited to announce out-of-the-box capabilities for the banking industry, which I know is really big here in Boston. And so for those high-volume, repetitive tasks, such as canceling a credit card or doing fee reversal, we have Agentforce models for you to use today. And for our life sciences customers, when you're doing a trial and you need to find the right patient to match them to the right trial, we can use Agentforce to do that today and manage the patient experience throughout the entire trial, or use Agentforce to help doctors find answers to questions. We've got some great sessions today that you can learn more from. And so as you just heard from Kaylin, we just went through Agentforce and some of the new innovation that we're bringing to market. And I'm really excited to dig into Data Cloud. And to do that, we have the renowned Corey Hayes to take us through. Take us through, Corey.
All right. Thank you, Connor. Great to be here in Boston. As my teenagers say, Connor, you have such great aura. Just love your aura. Great to be here in Boston. Really excited, awesome time, and what a great time to talk about data. It's just amazing, as I have heard that this is a time in 2025 where we will almost eclipse 200 zettabytes of data in humanity collectively. And it's awesome to think about what is a zettabyte, and with all the data centers they're building, Stargate and all of this stuff. But the concept of zettabytes, think about it like this. If we had those old DVDs, remember those? And if we circle the Earth like 225 times and stack those, that would be zettabytes of data. And all that means is that we're creating a lot of information. And all of this information, what if we could take that information and do something with it, right? If we could take that information and really unlock that value across sales, right? And create new opportunities for unlocking opportunities for sales and for our customers, or service. If we could find new ways to service our customers and really anticipate their needs, or new revenue streams for our businesses. But the problem is a lot of that data is just trapped, right? It's just trapped in all of these different places in these applications. And in fact, we know that 71% of it is just locked away. Thousands of applications this data just sits in. And in fact, I sit in a lot of these meetings with most of you, and you've even told me that the pandemic even made it worse because you put all these pinpoint solutions to talk to your customers because you were, trapped away, and you've created all these different new ways to talk to your customers, and now you don't even know who your customer is because you have different versions of your customers digitized and you don't even know who they are. So you can't even see them anymore because you have one version of your customer here, one version of your customer there. Well, this is why we came together and put together Data Cloud. Because Data Cloud is a way to see your customers in totality. Think about it this way. It's not really taking away all the investments you made, as Caitlin said, in your databases. You need those data lakes. You need those investments you made in Marketo and Databricks and all the data clouds and all the data that you put together. You need those investments. But what we're doing is extracting that metadata to make it useful for you. We're finally making the value from those data lakes more real for you. We're not replacing it. We're orchestrating it, bringing it together so you finally get that ROI that you wanted and you promised your CFO from all those data lakes that you put together. That's what Data Cloud is promising you. And now, with Agentforce 3.0 and Atlas with the reasoning engine, we're making it more available to you. Atlas, the reasoning engine, as you heard Caitlin say, is the brains behind it. It's letting you know that we can plan and act and giving it more deeper understanding. And with Agentforce 3.0, we're able to go faster. We're able to ground the data with web search and citations. We're able to make it even think faster. We're having open architecture and open models like OpenAI and Anthropic to give it more that has an open architecture. So now we're giving you more trust and grounding it with things that you need and even the citations. And you remember, in the early days, you didn't know where the data came from. So now with the citations, you know exactly where the information is coming from. So I think that's enough talk about it. Let's go back to a demo. And I think this demo will give you a little bit more understanding of what I'm actually speaking of, and you can see it in full operation. So let's go back to Prudential, and we'll see exactly where Data Cloud is coming through, and we can see the operation. So as we talked about Prudential before, a global insurer, regulated industry, and 150 years, bringing value to customers, insuring them with their homes in moments that matter and life situations. And I think one of the great instances is where you had to add a beneficiary, right? Great opportunity, you go to the website, just a normal operation, and you don't think about your insurer the first thing you do, but in this case, person got married, they're gonna go to the website, and they're gonna add a beneficiary, update my beneficiary. So you see there, they type it in, it's powered by Agentforce, really great experience, right? Added the beneficiary, great. Now, normally this is where you would stop, right? Just a normal experience, add a beneficiary, be done with it. But this was a signal. This was a signal and an opportunity to continue an experience. And this is where Data Cloud is gonna prove to be something different. So let's see what's gonna happen behind the scenes, and we're gonna flip the script a little bit and look at Data Cloud. So Data Cloud is gonna show us that there's more to it than that. Now let's look at the data graph and see what exactly is happening. So one thing that Data Cloud can do is give us more information, right? Data Cloud has connectors. We can see Salesforce CRM, but there's more. There's the website, there's Google Analytics, there's Databricks. These are pre-configured data connectors that we can pull data from. Remember those external databases I was telling you about? These are pre-configured. You don't have to DIY that. We can connect these data streams, and you can see here a list of all these data connectors that we have here, and now we can create a visual data graph. So now this visual data graph of this one customer from this beneficiary, we can see all the connection points of this customer. Now all these data points of this customer, now we have a way to interact with this customer. Now here's the other thing, which is pretty unique. Because we're a deeply integrated platform, this is a life event. So now there's a flow that happens. So it just doesn't stop with the data. This is an inferred life event. So this customer has an action now. We're gonna take action with this. And remember, because again, we're a deeply integrated platform, we have industry events that take place. So this is financial services. As Connor said, we have life and health. We have also manufacturing. We also have 15 other industries. And for those who are in health and life science, anybody in health and life science? It was the Fin Summit yesterday, right? So we have health and life science, we have manufacturing, we have energy, 15 of these out of the box, ready to go. So here's financial services, right? So financial services, great screen. You can see activity timeline, all the great things that a rep would see. You can also see things that are happening in life events, but also you can see there's the beneficiary, right? So here's Agentforce giving us the data, but a human has to stay involved and make sure that we can update that. So before the human updates that, they can confirm the policy, and they say confirm, but we can also look, before they do that, see the hashtags there? SSN number is blanked out. Why? Because the rep doesn't need to see that. That's trust. We want to make sure that although we're updating the policy, we're not going to have any information there that the rep does not need to see. We want to make sure that that PII data is not visible to the rep. That has nothing to do with making sure the information is there. That's trust built in. So now that we know that the beneficiary could be updated, we want to make sure, right? We want to make sure that this is the right information. Remember, this is a life event. This is just a beneficiary update, but there's other things that could take place. Is this the best policy? Prudential is thinking about the customer, not just at a transactional level. They want to make sure that this is the best policy. So we're going to ask Agentforce, is this the best thing we can offer them? And it's going to tell us, look, there's other things we can do. Joint life insurance, individual life policy, spousal rider. This is opportunities we can give. But one of the things that you look at the sources. These are the inline citations. We just didn't give an answer. We gave citations to the answer. Remember middle school? It wasn't just the answer. How did you come to the answer? That's what we want to know. So now we're giving you the background of how you got the answer, and this gives assurance to the customer, also to the regulator if they ever asked you how you came back to that answer. This is what we're talking about with Agentforce 3, is we're letting you know that this is a shift in the way that we're looking at AI. We are not just giving you answers, we're not just giving you data, we're giving you intelligence in motion. I'm gonna go off script a little bit here. Yesterday there was a great thing with the NBA draft. A lot of great draft picks, a lot of people coming in, a lot of great talent. And what we're telling you today, we're giving you great tools. We're giving you Data Cloud, Agentforce, all these great tools. But you have to get in the game, everybody. You have to get in the game. All these great tools mean nothing unless you get in the game. And right now, it's your chance today to get in the game. Over to you, Connor.
Awesome. Phenomenal job, Corey. All right. I don't know about you guys. I had a little bit of a flashback to middle school and a little bit of PTSD from having to show my work. That was fantastic. All right. So we just went through Agentforce. We've gone through Data Cloud. Phenomenal, showing the power of Data Cloud. And to wrap it all up, we're going to talk about the incredible apps that make up our Customer 360. We have Salesforce superstar Leah to take it away. Leah, come on up here.
Yo. All right, Caitlin said that she has the best job, but I actually think I do because I get to work with the Trailblazer community. Shout out to the community, shout out to the military community, and a special shout out to our security team. Now listen, if you've been rocking with us since 1999, then you know our mission has always been to help you connect with your customers in whole new ways. And this isn't changing. We're double downing on this. And the way that we have done this is by helping our customers build their Customer 360, by bringing together their sales, service, marketing, all into one deeply integrated platform. And now we're bringing Agentforce to every single one of those applications. And let me show you how, starting with sales. So with sales, all our sales folks, no more tedious, repetitive tasks. Agentforce helps you find new leads, convert pipe, and increase your productivity. Additionally, we have Sales Coach, which gives your buyers real-time guidance on their calls so that they can perfect their pitch. Now, for our service experts, any service experts in the crowd? Oh, no service blazers? Okay. Well, listen, for our service folks, Agentforce is riding shotgun along with you and your team, helping you close those cases faster and provide proactive and personalized customer service. We also know that employees, they're also customers. So we have the employee service agent there available, ready to answer all your employees' questions 24/7. We also know that service takes place out in the road, out on the road, out in the field, where your customers are. And with Agentforce for a field service, we have amazing agentic capabilities available that allow those field workers to provide service out on the road quickly and proactively. Also, now I know we got some marketer clouds in the space. Yes, marketers? Well, we got something for you too. Marketers, we know you want to create impactful, amazing campaigns. And with Agentforce, you can create tailor-made, custom campaigns. And here's the deal. You can do it with plain language. No clicks, no code. And you create the most impactful campaigns as well as optimize your content faster. Now, we got to talk about Commerce Cloud because we want to get those customers from awareness to purchase by meeting them where they are in their shopping cart. And with Agentforce for Commerce, you can easily and greatly move them from that awareness to purchase. And it's like they have their own personal shopper available 24/7 in real time. Now, you can't talk about Commerce Cloud without talking about Revenue Cloud. And with Revenue Cloud, Agentforce is automating the entire life cycle from quotes to billing to contracts. And it's all grounded in your data, powered by your data that you heard Corey eloquently share earlier. Now, when I say data, one thing comes to mind, and that is Tableau. Because Tableau allows you to see your data better, understand your data better, and act on your data faster. And here's the thing, this is not relegated to a data scientist. This is available to everybody here in this audience, regardless of your role, because we have made those insights accessible right in Salesforce and available to every agent. Agentforce is bringing AI to analytics along with amazing data visualization. And speaking of visualization, I want to do a little visualization exercise. You guys down for that? Okay, you don't have a choice, but you're going to do this, okay? So what I need everybody to do is close your eyes, and I want you to visualize this. Visualize a place where your coworkers are working collaboratively across silos, across business unit. Now open your eyes. That place, my friends, is Slack. Slack is your operating system for work. Because this is where in Slack where you can work more conversationally, more proactively, and more productively. Because in Slack, it brings together the people, your projects, your apps, your data, all knowledge right where you work. And with Agentforce, you're working alongside your teammates and agents right in the flow of work. Now I'm going to say something that's a little controversial, a little provocative. Did you know there are some companies that don't just use Salesforce? What? Shut the front door. I know, clutch my pearls. But you know what? That is okay because Agentforce is open. See, here we have pre-constructed connectors and low-code tools with MuleSoft that allow agents to take action anywhere, even in those third-party systems. And here's the thing, agents can complete a task from end to end beyond your CRM. And when I talk about beyond your CRM, we also got to talk about industries. Because industries, it does not matter which industry you're in. Agentforce is ready to suit up and join your team, Corey. They're ready to go. Regardless whether you're retail, government, education. And with Agentforce 3, we've released over 100 industry-specific actions and skills available right out of the box. Now, I did enough talking. I want to jump straight into a demo because I know we're coming to the close. So let's go to this demo. Earlier, you heard Kaylin talk about the wholesalers. Now, how many people in here have a financial advisor or a person that you work with? It sounds like this is a great place to get leads because not a lot of folks got them out here, as well as folks that are working with insurance agent. They have advisors. Well, these advisors get their products from wholesalers. So we're going to look at this demo from the perspective of a wholesaler. So let's jump into it. So I know Jonathan earlier was our admin. He's now going to be our wholesaler. He has many jobs. So here, the wholesaler, Jonathan, starts his day in Financial Service Cloud. Now we can see here he's looking at one of his advisors' profile, Melissa. It's got some basic information there on the left. But I want to bring your attention to the middle where it's showing the distribution hierarchy. Now in here, this is financial service serving up some really good information here. This is contextual and relationships. We can see like which brokerage she's affiliated with, the influence that she has. We can also see the assets under management, the total assets under management, and the number of high net worth clients they have. So this is a more like not an org chart, but a strategic map. Now in here, we can also see that Melissa is eligible to sell new products. Now, this is a new annuity with updated benefits. Now, when you have a new product and new benefits, you also get new messaging. Now, here's the thing. Agentforce took upon itself to go ahead and summarize the information about this new product. So we can see all of this information so Jonathan can get up to speed on the product benefits, and so that he can then bring Melissa up to speed on this new product. This is great, and we see all of the information right there. Amazing. So this is how Agentforce is helping. But here's the thing. Typically, a wholesaler would send a one-pager, a deck, or maybe they get a little creative and do a little video and send it off to the advisor to get them up to speed. But here's the deal. Agentforce allows or creates this opportunity for Jonathan to have a more personalized, a more human connection with his advisor through Sales Coach. Now, this is Sales Coach. Sales Coach here is a generative AI agent built right into Salesforce that simulates a conversation with Jonathan and his advisor so he can practice the pitch before he actually brings it to his advisor. On the right there, you see some sort of, right out of the box, we have some templates where you can either do role play with your coach or you can sharpen your negotiation skills. These are all available based off of different opportunity stages, but these can also be customized to what works for your org. So for here, we're gonna go ahead and do practice your pitch. Now, Jonathan's gonna practice his pitch. I'm not gonna put him on the spot. I'm not gonna have him do his pitch in front of all of us. He already pre-recorded, and apparently he thinks he did really well. He gave himself thumbs up. We'll be the judge of that. But what he did is he pre-recorded it, and he's doing his, we can see it here. We'll watch a little bit of it. Oh, he's got little jazz hands going on. I like it, Jonathan. Thumbs up, and lots happening there, Jonathan. Okay, I think we've seen enough. Thank you. So, but what happens is, he takes his pitch, sends that to Sales Coach. Sales Coach analyzes that and provides feedback. So let's look at your report card in front of everybody, Mr. Thumbs Up. So we can see that you landed really well some strong product knowledge, and that is key to any pitch. Know your product. Don't get out there and shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff and not know your product, right? You got to know your product. So he's did that well. The areas of opportunity is that he can personalize this product for his agent's territory or for his agent's clientele. So if he's gonna bring this to Melissa, he might wanna look at personalizing it just a little bit more for her clientele. This is great. And it gives all of this information right here. And if he scrolls down, we actually get next actions that he can take, such as he can redo the pitch again, or he can schedule a call. Now here's the thing. I want you to really understand what's happening here with Sales Coach. This feedback is not static, generic feedback. This feedback is contextual. It's giving real, detailed, personalized training at scale. So how is it doing this? This, my friends, is being done via Prompt Builder. Let's look at this. Now, how many people in here have used Prompt Builder before? Hand went straight up. Now listen, this might look like a new UI. New UI, who dis? It got a whole new glow up. So you might have been used to seeing the old UI information was at the bottom. We've moved it to the other tabs. So the resolve prompt is there on the second tab, and on the third tab is the generated response. But what I want to show you, focus on, is the first tab, which is the prompt. This prompt is what instructs the sales coach to give that contextualized feedback to Jonathan. In this prompt, it's pulling in that harmonized data from Data Cloud, right? All of that information, the advisor's information, the opportunity, the information around the products, liability, all of that information, that's what's being used to analyze Jonathan's pitch so it can say where he's doing well and what he can work on. So once again, the point being, this is not generic scripting. This is not predetermined scripting. This is all done real time based off of your data. Now, what we just saw was how a wholesaler has a relationship or manages a relationship with one advisor. Well, Jonathan isn't a one advisor type of guy. He likes to have multiple advisors, so he has to manage a relationship of thousands. And how does he do that? He does this with Tableau. What we're looking at here is Tableau Next, which gives you a bird's eye view of the harmonized data across Data Cloud, bringing to light the top KPIs. So we can see here some of the top KPIs being the territory coverage rate, our new producer activation. If we scroll down, we can see some other information, the top performing products. All of this deals with all the advisors that he has to manage across his catalog and all of the products. And here's what's really cool. I know you're thinking, what? It gets cooler? It does. So here's the thing. He can have a conversation with his data. That's a lot of data. He can ask questions of his data. And we see here that Jonathan's asking, which of his advisors needs support. Now, he's trying to figure out who's not meeting the numbers, not to shame them, but to figure out how can he better support these advisors so that they can hit their numbers. So here, Agentforce comes back with the list of the folks that might need a little bit of help, and get this, recommended actions. That's pretty cool. We're not just giving back data, but we're giving back an action plan. We can also ask a more complex question, such as, how does he increase the adoption of a certain product by 10% in his territory? Increase the adoption of a product by 10% in his territory. These are not simple questions. The Agentforce comes back and says, here are some things that you can do. You can look at these particular opportunities, and look at this. You have some underutilized product opportunities in certain territories. What I want you to really see here is that he's able to have this conversation about his data. Had he not had Agentforce, he would have had to have a data scientist, actually correction, a team of data scientists just to construct the question, and then it would have taken weeks, if not months, to come up with just the answers with the data. And no action plan. Data scientist wasn't giving you an action plan. They're like, here's your question and here's your data. He would have had to go back and create an action plan. He got all of that in a matter of seconds, right there, just having conversational questions. This is how humans and agents are working together to drive customer success. Thank you, Jonathan. Back to you, Connor.
All right, that's why Leah's the best. Great job. All right, so we've covered off on how data is going to be the underlying foundation for all of our agentic work. It's going to be connected to all of our apps that we know and love today, and then extended with that agentic layer to tackle both simple and complex tasks. And so I get asked the question, like, how do I go along this journey? And so I'm actually going to use a marketing persona to do that today. And it's really simple. So the first thing is you just want to be able to answer questions. And so set up an agent so that you can ask a question like, how's my campaign performing? And you can saw how we can bring analytics directly into Agentforce. And then make it a little bit more sophisticated, your agent, by how can I optimize my marketing campaign and make recommendations such as in Data Cloud, I want to create a new segment. And the agent can actually go and do the work on your behalf. And then the third, and this is amazing, make your agent autonomous. And so in this case, you have a fast trending product and some new some new hiking boots. And so you actually just want to move that directly into the campaign with no human intervention at all. Those are 3 easy steps that you can take so you can all bring this agentic technology to your company. The second question I get, and since I'm in sales and lead a sales team, I get this question a lot: what's the pricing? And so when we initially launched Agentforce, it was $2 a conversation to tackle service scenarios. But as we got more complex with Agentforce, we needed more granular pricing. So we're happy to announce 10 cents per action to handle any of your external agent conversations. The next question we got is we want Agentforce to sit alongside our employees, and we want to have an unlimited number of inquiries. So for $125 per employee per month, you can have unlimited access to Agentforce for all your employees across the board. And please scan the QR code here to learn more information. We've got a great show scheduled today for Agentforce. So first, I really hope everyone goes and spends time out in the campground. Go out there, build your first agent. It's great. We have amazing sessions for both financial services and life sciences at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, you can learn everything about Data Cloud. And don't worry, if you can't get to everything, it's all going to be streamed online, and you can use Trailhead, and I hope everyone becomes an Agentforce Blazer. And with that, I want to say thank you. Please scan the QR code. We'd love to get your feedback on how we can make this keynote more impactful. Please send in a survey. And with that, I hope everyone